This is Jacob Kasdan, and you're listening to Who's on Top? March Madness Emergency Special.
Who's on top? Dominic! Hit the emergency button now.
And welcome back to the emergency edition episode of Who's on Top. I'm your host, Ori, and boy, do we have a fun special planned for you. We're going to be talking a lot about March Madness, and we have some personal stakes in it. Michigan's in the tourney, Rutgers is dancing, and so is Syracuse. Oh boy, this is going to be
Bailando.
Estamos bailando, exactly, Jacob.
I think I got snubbed.
All right, Daniel. We'll be talking about all the snubs, all the busts, all the booms, all you need to know. We're going to be filling out a Who's on Top bracket courtesy of the one and the only Jacob Kasdan. But let's get down to it. Let's talk about the one and the only Jacob Kasdan. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, let's talk some sports.
And
Yeah.
cringing at the camera, we got the Ithaca man, Daniel Fox.
Chad Sameach.
Hag Sameach to you too, Daniel. And finally, our last real Jew on the podcast, Ellis Gordon.
What's up, guys?
And then the half Jew himself, the half blood prince, Jeremy Giles.
That was such a good talk. At your service, ladies and gentlemen. I have no problem being called that.
All
I
right.
think the movie was better because it had Emma Watson in it, but
Nice. Okay,
Not
we're
wrong.
going
Not
to be
wrong.
going to be moving on. I'm your host, Ori Ben-Ari. It is March 15th, 2021, 10:14 p.m. We just came off a great recording from the one, the only Rob Trigali. And we're going to be moving on to March Madness. So, Ellis, take us away. Explain to us what's going on. What
Yeah,
is this March
so-
Madness?
March Madness, in my opinion, my favorite tournament in all of sports other than the Super Bowl. A lot of fun, crazy 2 weeks, and we're gonna be filling out the bracket. We're not Jay Billis, we're not Andy Katz, but we're Jacob Kasdan, Ellis Gordon, Jeremy Giles, Dan Fox, and Ori Ben-Ari. And damn it, that's as good. And we're gonna be filling out our bracket. If you wanted to succeed in March Madness, well, we're gonna have a disclaimer because it's a lot of luck. But you know, if anything comes as close to luck, it's us. Because we know what we're talking about here. We've studied all 68 teams, and we're ready to give you a rundown on each game. We're going to be filling out. You'll find our champion, and here is our March Madness bracket. Who has gone the West? Take it away. West region, take it away with Norfolk State versus Appalachian State. 16 seed matchup in the first round. Jeremy, who do you have? Oh, wait. Actually, I should explain the rules. If we have a contest of who's going through, we'll have a vote to it. And since there's 5 of us, most votes goes through. And Jeremy, start us off.
And Ellison, I mean a contest, you meant a contest. If someone disagrees with someone, we'll
Oh.
go through.
Thank you. That's embarrassing. All right, go, Jeremy.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome to a cabinet battle.
like that reference, Jacob.
Welcome to a cabinet battle. I know you want to be here today. So, first off, let me start by, how do we want to do this? Do we want to go matchup?
Norfolk versus Appalachian State, then go down from there.
Yeah, start at the top seed and go down.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me start with I don't know if you even really count this as a game. I mean, it's against Gonzaga next, but Norfolk versus Appalachian State. And in this one, for me, it's a pretty simple thing. I am picking Norfolk State. They've won their final 6 games, including the MEAC championship. They're really hot right now. They're on a tear. They're exactly in the position they want to be. So I'm going to pick Norfolk State. I would want a steak right now. Norfolk State to win the first game. And after that, I think Gonzaga, as you may or may not know, they are essentially the team to beat this year. They are undefeated so far. The first team to do that since Kansas did in 2015. And whether they're going to win it all, I would probably say no, to be honest, simply because it's a lot of pressure to be undefeated. At least on paper, they're almost a perfect team. They play really good defense when they need to. Their offense is almost unstoppable. they're beating Norfolk State. I just want to talk about Gonzaga. There's no reason really to discuss
Yeah.
these anymore.
To talk a little about the Norfolk State Appalachian State game, I think this is a clear out of all the first 4 games. This is like the clearest one because Appalachian State had not the best season. They went 13-11 and 7-8 in conference play. They didn't have a winning record in conference play in a bad conference, but it's March and they ran through the tournament somehow. That said, Norfolk State is a different quality than Appalachian State that kind of, in my opinion, just got lucky and found their way into a 16th seed. Norfolk State can shoot the 3 well, and they'll advance. And yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about Gonzaga when they have real competition, but Gonzaga is the best team right now. They're the team to beat.
Yeah.
So they'll beat Norfolk State. I don't think any of you disagree.
Not at all.
And I'll get more to Gonzaga later because they're essentially by far the heavy favorite for this game. Next is Oklahoma and Missouri, and basically from what I've heard so far, this is kind of it's not a shit fest and that they're bad teams, but both teams are playing pretty poorly right now. Oklahoma's lost 5 of their last 6. Missouri's lost 6 of their last 9. So whoever wins, I don't think they're playing Gonzaga next. I don't think they're going to go very far. To me, it's kind of a crapshoot to an extent. I'd pick Oklahoma simply because Missouri got no API votes last time. I think Oklahoma's just playing a little less crappy. But again, in this, neither team is playing very well right now. I
just want to pitch in on that one. So there's 4 games here that I think that are real toss-ups that I'm not confused about. And what's better than an 8-9 seed, both not playing their best going into March? I think here I would go Missouri. We could put it up to vote since I contest Jeremy's opinion as Oklahoma. Listen, Missouri, they haven't started up. They didn't play their best in March, but they have Xavier Pinson, 14.1 points per game, and Drew Smith, also 14 points per game. And we've seen their potential. They're a good, hard defensive side, and they've been more tier 1, Division 1, tier 1 teams, than Oklahoma, the Sooners.
I mean,
so I have Missouri, so I think this one, I want to contest this one up to vote.
If I may offer the counter, I think the one kind of problem with that is, yes, Missouri has a lot of talent, but the problem is they're incredibly inconsistent, right? They can beat any team, almost any team. They can lose to almost any team. So I think I'd go with the slightly more consistent Oklahoma, but it's a crapshoot.
So can we put this one up to vote? How are we going?
I'm not going to put it up to vote. I'm not mad at either pick.
I'm going to go Missouri along with Ellis.
Dan?
I'll go Missouri.
Thank you. So I think Missouri advances, but I think this is a crapshoot.
So this next thing I'm going to talk about a little bit because this is probably my first and only and by far biggest upset in this region that I'm picking. And then I'm picking UC Santa Barbara to win. And it's kind of, for me, it's a mix of 2 things. On Creighton's side, they just got destroyed by Georgetown by, I believe, almost 20 points and Patrick Ewing's team. Shout out Patrick Ewing, by the way, for winning that game and having an awesome game. And in addition, their coach was caught making racist comments. I don't know specifically what the comments are. I'm not going to get into that. But since then, they've been 3-2. They haven't been playing as well. UC Santa Barbara on the other side has been incredibly hot. They are an incredibly affordable team, and they've won 18 of the last 19. So I think in my mind, this is just an example of peaking at the right moment. UC Santa Barbara is, I think, going to win this game. Creighton's following. UC Santa Barbara is peaking. Here I'm picking number 4 Virginia versus number 13 Ohio. For me, I'm picking Virginia here. I know, obviously, the most famous thing recently is that last-minute buzzer beater against Syracuse. But they're still a very, very good team. They're not quite as strong as they were 2 years ago. And honestly, here, I don't think it's that exciting of a game. Obviously, there is potential with March Madness. There's always potential for a great game, but I'd say I'm picking UVA.
Yeah, I would like to contest that. I think we're going to have an upset here. I think this Ohio Bobcats team is extremely underseeded because they're a low conference team. Jason Preston is the person of the tournament you have to watch, averaging 17 points, 7 rebounds and 7 assists and 2 steals, and shooting 41% from 3. When you're in March Madness, you need playmakers. He's a 6'4" guard with NBA caliber talent, and they lost to Illinois by 2 points, the hottest team in the country right now. They put up 101 points against Cleveland State, who was their league champion. This Ohio team is extremely dangerous, underseeded, and this Virginia team is nothing special. So far this year, they've been the teams they've had to beat, but they've lost against all teams that are better than them. This is a prime upset. We can vote on it, but I have Ohio Bobcats. I think this is a great upset. Virginia is in trouble. What do you guys say? What's the vote? I vote Bobcats.
I'd pretty strongly say Virginia here.
I'm also going to stick with Virginia.
Dan, Ori?
I'm going to split the vote and go against
Which
Virginia.
means it is Dan who
Oh
gets to
my-
upset or not. And Dan, what is your?
I think UCSB is going to be upset, and I really don't think it'll be a 12 versus 13 seed.
I really okay. I'm gonna be completely honest. Virginia has not been playing well. William and Mary has beaten the crap out of them in pretty much every esports game this year. It's not
That's
looking very good.
important.
That's a blow to morale.
That's important.
I feel like
No one talked
Virginia-
about that.
But Virginia's also, I think, a much more experienced team, right?
True. That's fair.
they've
That's
been to
fair.
March
Not an
Madness.
esports
sorry,
experienced
sorry,
team.
Ori, but I think Virginia they've been here before. They know how to win. Sorry, buddy.
But watch out. Last thing, watch out for Jason Preston.
So for the next one, full disclosure, I'm picking USC here. I think to me, it's basically just USC is kind of the darling team of this region to an extent. Obviously, everyone's focused on Gonzaga is the kind of big dog of the region and really the tournament as a whole. But so the big person on USC is Evan Mobley. He's a projected, almost certainly going to be a top 5 NBA draft pick next year. And this is the kind of thing where a lot of people, because they have him, think they're going to do very well. He's a 7-foot player. His brother, who's on the team, is also incredibly tall, so they have a lot of range, which could be very good in defense, which is very important in the tournament. To me, I don't know how well I'll see them doing in the future. I kind of feel like it could be the same thing as like a Zion situation where they're very, very good talent, but that doesn't necessarily translate to tournament wins. But I don't think they're going to lose in the first round.
This team's a bit too reliant on Evan Mobley, and Wichita State's hot, but the talent wins this game.
But Evan Mobley's also a beast, so in the first round,
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Kansas and East Washington.
So to me, this game does have some upset potential just because recently Kansas has been dealing with some COVID issues. Like they're kind of just getting back to an extent. They had to take a week break, so they might be a little bit rusty. With that said, Kansas has been an absolutely dominant team so far. They've been playing very, very well. They're obviously not the Kansas 2015 that I mentioned earlier, but I just think they're a stronger team. I definitely could see Eastern Washington winning simply because Kansas, they could be rusty. They may not be playing in the best position right now, but I'd say I'd have to go with Kansas if I had to pick.
Yeah, consensus there, I think. The more interesting game coming up, Oregon at VCU, 7 seed versus 10 seed. Both have performed very well in the regular season, but both have had a lack of experience against AP top 25 national teams, both playing only one game and losing it. I think that Oregon performed a lot better in the conference than VCU did, which is pretty important to note. They have a slightly better offense, though VCU's defense edges them by a little bit. It is pretty important to mention that they lost by 14 to USC. And then they beat Seton Hall, which, we all love because we're all from South Orange, by 13 points. So that was kind of tough to see this year. I personally think Oregon edges us out, and I think Ellis would agree with me. Right?
Yeah, I think Oregon's underseeded because of the injury bug they caught in January. So I think they're underseeded. They have 5 players who score in double figures. You like to see that. Anyone who gets the rock can make a bucket, and that's what you like to see in March. So I think Oregon is the team. VCU is fine, but I think Oregon is underseeded and can make a run in this tournament.
Yeah, I agree. This Oregon team's a great shooting team, and that wins games in March. So here we go.
The other very important thing kind of mentioned about Oregon that we haven't mentioned as much yet is that they're very much a veteran team. They have kind of veteran coaching stability. They have 3 senior starters right now, which is kind of very important in March Madness, which essentially means they've been there before, they've seen the tournament. They are less likely to get blinded by the lights, essentially, as I know a lot of more freshman younger players.
Nice little weekend reference there. All right, Jeremy, let's move on to our last seed in the Jeremy region. This is going to be Iowa versus Grand Canyon. Who are we taking here, Jeremy?
You agree this is my region, not the Gonzaga region.
This is the Giles region.
This is the Giles region. But no, I'm going to take Iowa here. I don't think that's a very hard pick. The one thing is I will say about Iowa is I don't think they're as strong as people have been thinking they are. They have gone 7-6 against Div 1 teams, which is they're not a bad team, but I don't know if they're necessarily as strong as people would say they are. And the thing about Grand Canyon is they are a very, very strong defensive team. They've been held most of their teams against 70. So I actually think there's more upset potential here than you would possibly think. With that said, this is a 2 seed versus 15 seed. This is definitely not a game I predict an upset. I just want to put it on alert that is possible.
For me, there's only 2 words you have to say for this game. Luka Garza, give me Iowa.
Hey.
So here, what I'd say for Gonzaga, Missouri, I think we've already talked about these. Missouri's not doing well. Gonzaga is an incredibly strong team right now. Can we just pick Gonzaga? I don't really think we need to talk about it very much.
Awesome. Yeah.
The next game is actually, I think, a harder game for me to pick because I don't think Virginia.
Wait, Jeremy. Wait, are you going back up?
No,
No, he's right here. UCSB, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
So, all right, I'm sorry. I should say the games before because they can't.
Say this is like the round of 32.
You guys can all see my screen, right?
So we are in the, for the audience that's not viewing this on YouTube that's listening, we are in the round of 32 right now.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. If you want, if you're not on YouTube, follow along on your own bracket. So we're in the round of 32 right now.
Absolutely. So next we have UCSB versus Virginia. To me, I think this is a harder game to pick simply because I think UCSB, they beat Creighton, but I think largely they beat that because of the flaws of Creighton versus their own strengths. So I would pick Virginia here. I know that they are not necessarily as strong as they've been in past years, but I still think they are a very good team. They still have a good defensive team, still have a pretty decent offense. And if anyone contests that,
I want to contest.
I won't. Can I just say I won't strongly fight that. I don't think they're as good as they or have been in previous years. So I could definitely see UCSB making it to the top 32, top 15 here. But that would be my pick if I had.
You know how I stand on Virginia because I picked them to lose the last round. So I'm going to pick them to lose again because I think this USCB team would have beaten the Ohio team. So I think this is a good 3-point shooting team. We like 3-point shooting teams in March. Virginia just hasn't shown me anything special. We need some special spark in March. So give me USCB. USC Santa Barbara. Does anyone want to? Let's vote on it. What are we saying?
I vote Virginia, as I said.
Virginia's team lost a crushing blow to William & Mary's esports team, so I must vote against Virginia, especially when going up against UCB.
Right. I think Jeremy makes a good point that like their projected win in the first round is more about Creighton than them. So I think Virginia will. Well, I don't want to steal your thunder, but I think Virginia will definitely lose in the next round. But I don't think UCSB is strong enough to beat them.
All right, which means Jacob, you're the deciding vote.
Yeah.
This is the tricky one.
Oh, tricky.
This is a hard one.
Ooh, it's tricky.
No, this really is because this UCSB team they do play well, and I think they're underseeded. But this Virginia team, they've showed some flaws. They barely beat my Syracuse Orange. They won on a buzzer beater 3-pointer by a guy who had no buckets the whole game in the ACC tournament. But I think I'm gonna stick with Virginia on this one. I think the more experienced coach, the more experienced players, and I think that's really a big thing in March Madness.
All right, move on, Giles.
So in this next one, I'm gonna actually not pick an upset, which I feel like in some ways is an upset. So here's the thing: Evan Mobley's an amazing player. I guess to me, I feel like this is a Zion Williams effect, where it's one amazing player, but it's one amazing player against a veteran team, a veteran coach, a program that's been there for years, been thriving there for years. I don't think Evan Mobley, and I know they have a very strong defense, I just don't think he on his own is enough to beat USC.
Yeah,
to beat Kansas.
I to beat Kansas. I'm sorry.
I'm contesting again. Sorry to be that pain, but I really think this Kansas team is not that good. They do not defend well inside. They lost Azubuike last year, and they've lost their inside defense with him. And I just think this team isn't very good. To be honest, I don't. Yeah, I don't respect this Kansas team. Sorry to say it. I respect this USC team more. I think USC wins. Let's put it to a vote.
Yeah, I mean, Ellis is smart, right, and handsome. So I'm gonna go with USC.
Foxy. Yeah.
All right,
I don't think it's crazy to pick USC by any means. I just think personally.
All right, next up, Oregon versus Iowa.
I picking Oregon here. Oregon's a very strong team. They're very much a veteran team. They have experience here. I just don't think this Iowa squad's that good this year. Like, they barely have a positive record against Div 1 teams. They haven't shown me anything very much.
Jeremy, I gotta disagree on you there. They don't have a positive record. You said they barely have a positive record, right?
Against Div 1 teams.
Guess what? They're 8-5, which is respectable. Not great. What's Oregon against top 25 teams? They're 0-1. They have no experience playing like top 25 teams, and while they are great team, I just don't think that they can beat a solid team like Iowa, especially when Iowa is putting up 83 points per game, which is insane by college standards.
I think this game is going to come down to these teams both are coming in really hot. This game is going to come down to the last shot. give me Joe Weisenkamp and Luca Garza, who are going to hit that last
Luka
shot.
Garza is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Send-
I'm a big Garza
He
lover.
sleeps with
so-
the fishes.
The white boy team is going to come out. All the rosters white
They
for
are the
some
white boy
whatever
team.
reason, and they're going to come out and hit the final shot.
All right,
All right.
Iowa the pick, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Sweet
Gonzaga.
16.
Do I have to talk about Gonzaga?
No,
No, I
talk
think
about it.
Zach. You know what? I think if anyone, Virginia can give them a weird run for their money, but I think Zaga wins
Not at
this
all. No
easily.
shot.
Gonzaga blew them out last time they played.
Yeah.
Virginia can have a way of being frisky, but you can't pick Gonzaga.
I mean, Gonzaga is by far the clear favorites, and this whole conference doesn't stand up to them other than maybe Iowa. But this is Gonzaga's
not
season.
even Iowa. Just
Remember when I was saying the word frisky all the time? That was fun. I'm going to keep doing that.
All right, next up, USC versus Iowa. Jeremy, what you got?
that's a hard game. That's a hard game to
It's
pick.
tricky.
It's tricky, and they're both star based with Luka Garza versus Evan Mobley. I don't know, and I guess for me it feels hard. I guess I picked both of these teams to lose, but I'd probably say
It's the battle of the big men.
I go with Iowa here. I think just a more experienced team.
Yeah, I think they have
I
more
agree.
options. Iowa's defense is very concerning, and their defense. Iowa's offense, top 10 in the nation. Their defense, very lackluster. But I got to go Iowa here because USC eventually relying on one player runs out. Iowa, they don't just got Luka Garza. They have the McCaffrey brothers. They have Joe Weisenkamp, and that's a very good backcourt. They make up. This team can outshoot you offensively. This team is hot, and give me Iowa over USC.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Gonzaga versus Iowa, Jeremy. Who's representing
I
the West in the Final Four?
I don't want to be basic, but you have to go Gonzaga, I think, right? Like
Awesome.
they beat Iowa by, I believe it was 11 points last time they played. Like they beat in the 2, 3, and 4 seed in this region, all by double digits. The 4th seed, I believe, by 20 points. Like it's definitely possible that Gonzaga, like I think Iowa could definitely win this game because it's very possible that but I really think it's all in Gonzaga, right? Does being an undefeated team get in their head?
So I mean, Gonzaga's averaging a win by 23 points per game. I don't see them losing at all.
I know. I know.
this-
Let me make the case for Iowa. I mean, it's not necessarily the case that they'll blow out Gonzaga or anything, but I think if there's one team that's offensively capable to compete with Gonzaga, it is Iowa. They are averaging 83 points. Gonzaga is averaging almost 10 more points per game, but that you must keep in mind that they are facing much lower competition.
Sure.
Iowa's faced 13 teams in the top 25. Zaga's faced 4. So it's like, are you beating up on the weaklings? But I know they've played before, and I know Zaga won.
And
So
I guess the one thing I'd say is that let's just be clear that Gonzaga is definitely the clear favorites, but this is not a gimme game.
Well, hey, we have to say Iowa gave Gonzaga the second hardest fight this year in their undefeated streak, only besides BYU. So Iowa can definitely make up with their firepower, but their defense is going to hurt them with Jalen Suggs on the floor. Gonzaga is the best offense in the country. You're going to need a defensive team to beat them. Iowa's not bad.
Maybe let's move on. We're picking Gonzaga. There's no way.
All right, next, go to the South region.
Who's that?
Ah,
That's
Seth.
me.
That's-
Woo!
welcome to the Daniel Zone.
Welcome to the Daniel Zone. Okay, let's get it started with Baylor and Hartford, and I'm going to go with, surprisingly, Baylor. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. North Carolina and Wisconsin. I don't really like either of these two teams. North Carolina shoots 31% from 3. They are the nation's best offensive rebounding team, which I guess you get a lot of chances when you shoot 31% for 3. But I'm really picking them because I don't like Wisconsin, who is 17-12. They finished 2-6. They also can't shoot the 3. So this is just going to be an ugly game. I don't think either of these teams have a chance in the next round. But I'm going to go with North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm going to contest with Wisconsin. I just really like Wisconsin. They've played the hardest schedule in all of basketball, and they haven't been great. I agree, Daniel, these aren't the best teams. But listen, and March Madness, you need to shoot the 3. Wisconsin can. They've got Demetric Trice averaging 14 points a game.
They're shooting 32% from 3.
Oh, really?
31.
Okay. Well, they got 3. Well, then Demetric Trice can shoot the 3. Then sorry, that's my bad. But Brad Davison, he's averaging almost 10 points a game. So maybe I was wrong with the 3-point shooting. But Demetric Trice, as I said, you're looking in March Madness, you're looking for a star player to lead you to a win. And Demetric Trice is that star. I don't know if North Carolina has exactly that star itself. So I'm going Wisconsin, but we could put it up to vote.
I'm also going Wisconsin.
Jeremy, Ori.
I'd say with I
I-
might do UNC. I think
I,
All right,
relu- I
deciding vote.
reluctantly picked North Carolina because I really can't pick a team that loses 9 times in the top 25 in Wisconsin.
Yay.
It's
So
very
it's
fair point.
All
yeah,
right.
3 and 9. Yeah. Okay. The next game, Villanova. No,
Villanova.
Nova.
the Villanova and Winthrop. I feel like this is a common. This just has all the makings of the upset. You got Villanova, their star, Colin Gillespie. He's out with a season and an injury, and they've really been a different team without him. And then you talk about Winthrop, that's 23-1. I know they're not in the best conference, but they haven't lost since January. And I just think this has all the makings of an upset. I'm going to go with Winthrop. To get
I
the-
agree.
Yep.
Yeah, and they shoot,
I'm down with that.
and they have a big shooter in Valdron who shoots 38% from the line. And besides that one loss, they're perfect on the season, and they have the most efficient offense and defense in their conference, which is great for them. Winthrop Eagles, big upset.
Okay, the next one, it's actually
About the schedule quickly. Their conference is weak, but you can only play who's on your schedule.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
that's not entirely fair to fault.
okay. The next game I feel like is a pretty tough game because I think North Texas does a lot of things well. They, they're good inside. They shoot 37% from 3. They got a great defense. But they've only played one game against top 25 team, and Purdue's 5-5, which against top 25 teams isn't terrible. They're big up front. They have, they've got some tough games against Iowa, Michigan, but those are great teams. And they're well-rounded. They're top 5 in defense and offense in the Big Ten. So this could be where I'm on upset alert, but I'm going to pick Purdue.
Yeah, I mean Purdue. They have two great big men. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the league, and I'm also going to go with Purdue in this one.
Hard
Okay.
to pick against the Boilermakers, especially with such a great name.
Next game is Texas Tech, and Utah State, and I really like Utah State in this game. I think they play really good defense. They're on a 6-game winning streak. And Texas Tech is 3-8 against top 25 teams. They lost in the quarterfinals of the Big 12. They have played a lot of close games, and they've lost a lot of really close games, which suggests glass half full means that hey, they're better than their record because of point differential, but glass half empty, they don't know how to close, and you need to be able to close in a tournament. So this is a tough game to pick. It's tricky, as my buddy Mr. Caston would say, but I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with Utah State.
I understand Daniel's points on Texas Tech, but I have to strongly disagree on this upset. I don't even think Utah State should be in this. I think Louisville was the better team. Utah State was slightly hotter during selection Sunday, which I get. But I don't think Utah State deserves to be in the bracket. I think Texas Tech plays fabulous defense. Chris Beard sets this team up well. Mac McClung, the offense is a big problem, but Mac McClung can carry this team offensively enough to beat Utah State. So I'm going Texas Tech. Let's put it up to vote.
I'm going Texas Tech as well. McClung's an elite scorer. They're a great rebounding team. Give me the Texas Tech.
Jeremy Ori?
Aggies, baby.
All right.
On Texas Tech.
Guess I'm overruled.
All right.
That's okay. The next game is kind of hard to pick because no one really knows who Colgate is. Because they've only played 15 games and they they don't play good teams there in the Patriot League. And Arkansas, they got a lottery pick in Moses Moody, 4 double-digit scores. They've won 11 straight games in conference. We'll talk about my worry with them later, that they lost to Alabama by 34, which is pretty concerning, but they're the much better team here. So I'm going with Arkansas.
Yeah, real quick on this, I think I totally agree with Daniel. I just think this would be a really fun game. Both teams shoot well and play really fast. So good game to watch, but Arkansas is going to win.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, and then the next game, I don't know if I said this was the one I'm going back and forth on, Florida and Virginia Tech. And Florida, we all know what happened with what's his name again? With Keontae Johnson. We all know what happened with Keontae Johnson. They are 1-3 entering the tournament. Trey Mann is really playing well. He's picked up the slack, and they do have good they have beaten some good teams. But if you want to talk about being good teams, Virginia Tech is 4-0 against top 25 teams. Slightly better record. So I'm going to slightly go with Virginia Tech here.
I agree. Nothing impressed me about this Gators team.
Yeah.
Okay. And the final first round pick, Ohio State versus Oral Roberts. This is going to be an interesting 2 versus 15 game. Oral Roberts has the highest scoring in the nation. And I don't love this Ohio State team just because they've really struggled down the stretch. But I'm going to go with Ohio State.
Yeah, I think Ohio State struggles to close out big games, but I think despite Max Amos, the Oral Roberts the number 1 scorer in the nation, Ohio State will win.
Yeah, I'd like to put in my objective opinion here and say fuck Ohio State, fuck the Ohio State, fuck the state of Ohio. But in other words, I think despite the prolific scoring by what is it? It's Oral Roberts. They're averaging 80 something points.
He's got a really good player, Max.
81 points per game. They're also giving up 75, which is considerable. It's not really a competition here.
Now we get to the second round. Second round is always, I think it's the hardest round to pick because you have teams that are coming off upsets. And it's right after the first round game, same weekend. So it's I think these are the hardest games to pick, in my opinion. But the first one's pretty easy. Baylor, North Carolina. I said I didn't like the North Carolina team. If you're going to beat Baylor, you really need to shoot. So I'm going to go with Baylor. All right. Winthrop versus Purdue. Again, Winthrop is so hot. It really comes down to they're 23-1, but and Purdue is only
15-9.
15-9.
18-9.
But Purdue
18-9.
Purdue has 10 games against Big Ten against top 25 teams. So as good as Winthrop has played, I think their run comes to an end.
And yeah, I agree because they're Matt Painter's Boilermakers have finished top 5 in offensive and defensive efficiency in Big Ten, the best conference in the league. This is a solid team, big team.
That's what I was about to say. They're super. I don't think a team like Winthrop can compete with their size. You got 6'10" Trevion Williams and 7'4" Zach Edey. Then Arkansas and Texas Tech. I did not pick Texas Tech to be here, but I will evaluate because I'm a man who respects other people's opinions. I really like this Arkansas team. Again, I said this before. They lost to Alabama by 34, but I think they're just really well-rounded. And Texas Tech, like I said, trouble closing out, lost in the Big 12 quarterfinals, 3-8 against top 25 teams. And so I'm going with Arkansas.
Yeah, Texas Tech needs some more offensive firepower.
I agree.
All the way.
I agree. I think this game's gonna be closer than people expect, but I think Arkansas will win this game.
Also, that lost Alabama, they've been playing red hot, so I don't really feel comfortable.
I'm probably going to get overruled on this, but you need one upset if you want to make the millions, and I'm going to pick Virginia Tech over Ohio.
Overrule.
No, let him say. Let him say.
Yeah. But Ohio State is not playing well. They lost 4 straight games entering the Big Ten tournament. They've been inconsistent all year. They struggle against big men. And I just like this Virginia Tech team, how well they've played against top 25 teams. They've dealt with a lot of adversity this year, but they've come out the other side. And I just feel like you got to pick an upset. I don't like Ohio State, but that's not a part of this at all.
Daniel, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And here's why. I think this Ohio State team they don't close out games well. They have a guard power is there with Dwayne Washington, EJ Liddell, but you got to pick an upset. You got to go for gold.
You got to pick an upset.
Give me that
someone
money.
roll with us.
And
someone roll with us.
Virginia Tech, they're solid, and Ohio State, I think they're going to blow lead late, and Virginia Tech takes it on the last second shot.
Look, let me take the Ori. Don't bring your hatred into Ohio State into this, please. But let me
fuck
give you
Ohio.
They
fuck Ohio.
Ori, shush. They had a
fuck Ohio. Okay, last one.
Daniel and Ellis have chosen Virginia Tech. I'm going to contest that, and I'm going to say Ohio State wins this game. We all know they struggled at the end of the regular season, but they made a great run in the Big Ten tournament. They went into overtime against Illinois, who is one of the top 4 teams in the nation. I'm picking Ohio State.
All right, Jeremy?
Jeremy, 5 Slammer. Remember, we live together.
Yeah, I know, and I argued with you constantly. I feel like that's not the memory you want to bring up here, bud.
To be
But no.
fair,
So
I'm
that means
just
that means Ori's the deciding vote.
No,
Yeah.
no. You didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't say I was. You got to pick an upset.
Do.
You got to pick an. I agree. No, if like let me. You know what I think it is? I'd say it like this.
Just get your point across. Just say it already. Come on.
40-60 that Ohio State's going to win. It's a 60% chance, but it's a much bigger deal if we get the upset right than if we get a easy win. I'm going Virginia Tech.
Yeah! We
Get
got
out-
it.
get out of
Ori,
here.
no one cares about your opinion.
You're all
Get
gonna
out
be
of here. Your
wrong.
vote doesn't
No,
You're,
I-
you're all
to-
gonna be wrong with that
your
one. I
vote
can
doesn't
tell you.
matter,
I can
Ori.
tell
to be
you that.
clear, I did have Ohio State winning this
Oh, you
game.
did? Oh, well, Jeremy's
Yeah.
the deciding vote and Phi Slam is
I
secondary.
slam a unite.
All
Well,
right, let's
too
all right.
bad for you guys. I have all the power. Ohio State.
No. We're doing
No,
both.
Jake, we do democracy.
Baylor and Purdue. Like I said, Purdue has great size up front. But you know what beats great size up front? The best 3-point shooting team in the nation. I think Baylor matches up.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm gonna pick Baylor, Arkansas, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, I fought for you, but I just think Arkansas is the better team. So we're gonna go with Arkansas. We got Baylor, Arkansas.
Can I say I know I'm gonna be outruled, but on the Baylor, I don't want to talk about Arkansas, Virginia Tech, but on the Baylor Purdue front, they struggled a little late down the season. They got it together, but I think this is prime for upset. I want to put it to vote. I know I'm gonna get shot down, but I want Purdue to beat Baylor. I'm going with it. I think
Nah,
they're
I'm
the
taking.
size to
I'm
do it.
taking Baylor.
Sorry, buddy.
I think you could be right, but not right
Okay.
enough. I don't want
Okay, that's fine. So then we got Baylor, Arkansas, and
Yep.
then who we
Yeah.
got? And I want
Ooh, this is tough because I don't know. These are the two best teams in the South region. I
Yeah.
think through my extensive research and watching the tape, these are the two teams that impress me. But I think Baylor just has too much talent, two projected first round picks. They create turnovers, they shoot threes. So I'm gonna roll with Baylor. Another 1 seed, sue me.
yeah.
But
I think.
I'm just
Sorry,
gonna
I want to
Baylor.
go. I want to go Arkansas. I don't like Baylor, the Baylor Bears. I don't know why. I think they're not the hottest, and I think that's basically where my
Neither are you, but
Attack
we
on
still listen
down.
to you.
please Fox,
Else,
to.
how can you say a
Comic
team
Zone.
that's 22-2 not being one of the hottest teams?
because they were like 15-0. I don't quote me on that, but then they finished the season 6-2 or something like that. But something like that. And
6-2.
Moses.
Whatever.
They
Moses
just
Moody,
They've
yeah.
just shown cracks. I think Moses Moody leads the Arkansas to win. I know I'm gonna be probably outvoted. I'm gonna put it to a vote.
Arkansas lost to Alabama by
And,
34.
they've been amazing ever since. I'm going Arkansas. So let's Jacob, Jeremy,
Fine.
Ori. What's your
I'm
I'm
gonna
going Baylor.
I'm actually gonna go Arkansas here.
which
They're
means Jeremy is the
no,
deciding vote.
yeah, I think they're one of the best offensive teams, and if anyone can take on Baylor, it's Arkansas. I think they're a super powerful team. The thing about Arkansas, they do play a little worse defense than Baylor, but I really think that their offense, doesn't represent. It really shines through. They Baylor lost to who did they lose to?
They lost to Kansas and Oklahoma State.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, one of their wins that really didn't take into account how close it was their double overtime win in West Virginia. I think that kind of shows the cracks, and Arkansas can really capitalize where West Virginia can't.
Jeremy,
I just,
deciding vote.
to me, at least in March Madness, it's all about who gets hot at the right time. And ever since the Bama loss, Arkansas has been hot. Baylor's not as hot. I said going Arkansas. Yeah.
Give me Arkansas.
There's literally no way.
I'm not
but
mad
What do you
about
mean?
that.
I wouldn't know, dude.
Arkansas
There's
is a
totally
great
a way.
team.
There's
Dude,
totally
there's
a
no
way.
way.
Jacob.
Since when is March Madness all one seeds?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
saying
mad
it's
about
all
that.
one seeds. It's
Dude, I totally see
Hey,
Arkansas.
Gonzaga and Baylor have been the
I
two
only
best
got
teams all
overruled 2
season.
times. I think that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
and that they can go down. Okay, Jacob, we'll see. Move
It
down.
would-
Let's move
it
down.
literally ends up
East,
that
or you're up.
2 or 3 teams end up all in the top 4 anyway. So odds are someone getting upset, and it's probably not.
Well, we all know Michigan's not making it to the Final Four.
Let's go.
And welcome to the Ori Zone. It's like Twilight Zone, just Ori. Yeah, still is just as weird. All right, so let's talk. Thanks, Claire. So let's talk about Michigan. Michigan, clearly one of my favorites, but I'm actually not going to be too biased while filling this out. Michigan clearly beats MSM TXSO. It's not going to be close. Let's move on to LSU St. Bonaventure.
Sure.
Bonaventure. So I actually, I think LSU, I'm not too impressed by what's going on. Cameron Thomas is actually really, really good this year, averaging 22.8 points. And they do have some really good players that can really put up the ball. The thing about the Bonaventure Badgers, maybe. I don't know.
Whatever.
Bonnies.
I think while they're untested versus top 25 teams, LSU is 2-5, which is really unimpressive to me. The thing about LSU, they really put up some points. But whenever your opponents average 60 points a game, which is 15 points less than LSU. Again, this might be something about their competition, but I think it's something to be said. If there's an upset to be found, even if it's an 8-9 upset, I think it's here. They're really close. What do you guys think?
I challenge.
Yeah, I challenge.
Yeah, I'm taking LSU.
I'm taking LSU. Here's why.
LSU's going. They went bullet to bullet back to back against Alabama in the SEC final. They lost on a missed open buzzer beater. And
well, can I say something real quick? LSU is one of the best offenses in the country, one of the worst defenses. But St. Bonaventure has the worst bench in all of the NCAA. So because of that, you needed some of a bench to play March Madness. I'm picking a team of whoever has the worst bench. So I'm going LSU.
No, I agree with that. I think a bench is the kind of thing that will affect the team much more in tournament play than it will in a regular season.
And you bring up the points that their opponents averaged 15 less points per game. Well, they also scored 12 less points per game than LSU, so it kind of evens out. And LSU is playing better competition.
Yeah. All right, next on.
All right, here I think we have Colorado winning. Georgetown has really underperformed in almost all expectations. Nothing really impressive coming out here. I mean, if you guys have anything else to say, a 13-12 team is not beating Colorado.
I'm contesting that. I think Colorado team is better. I think McKinley Wright is a really, really good player, averaging 21 points per game. But hot teams in March Madness, and there's only one team hotter than Georgetown in all of the country. They had a bad regular season, swept through the Big East.
Big East tournament.
They are the second hottest team in all of the country. Besides McKinley Wright, I want this Georgetown team. I think they're riding the second hottest team. Nothing more to say. Second hottest team in the country. Give me the upset.
Yep. No, I 100% agree.
I'm also taking Georgetown.
Well, it doesn't matter what I say, but
I just think they're fundamentally a bad basketball team, and that can see in their BPI. They're 63rd in the nation, and their opponents average 70 points a game. When compared to their scoring, it's not impressive at all. I know they're in a hot streak, but they lost to UConn twice. I mean, they lost to Syracuse. They beat Seton Hall twice, but then lost to them again. I just don't see them as an impressive team.
All those are valid points, but
it's in March Madness. What most important matters is getting hot at the right time, and that's what Georgetown is.
And Georgetown is the second hottest team, but I totally agree with you, Ori, on your point that
all right,
they turn over the ball so much.
Let's move on to Florida State and UNSC Garstrow. Florida State, while not having too good of a season this year, are still undefeated versus top 25 teams. They are averaging 78.9 points per game, which is an incredibly high clip, especially when you're considering who they're going up against. They beat Virginia by 21, beat North Carolina twice, and beat Louisville by 13. I mean, this is an impressive team. There's really not much for UNCG. They haven't really beat any impressive teams this year. I think this is an easy Florida.
Yeah, I'm a big lover of Florida State. I love them a lot in this tournament. They're a great shooting team. They score a lot of points. They get a lot of rebounds, and I think UNC Greensboro's really got no shot in this one.
Yeah. Let's move on to BYU versus Michigan State or UCLA. A lot of big teams in here, but I think the really story here is BYU. They've really turned it on, especially for such a small school, playing great defense when considering they're scoring at such a high clip. I think 20-6 is a pretty impressive record. I mean, their record against top 25 teams leaves a bit to be desired, but they're definitely winning this first matchup, I think.
I contest that. I think Michigan State can beat them.
I just don't think
Michigan
they
State
have
was hot.
I strongly disagree. I think BYU came the closest to being Gonzaga. They are a team with top 30 efficiency in offense and defense. They have no weakness on the team. I think once you get up to the elite teams, but Michigan State's certainly not that.
Especially when we're talking about
Ellis, you see Michigan State. They beat Michigan twice down the road.
Yeah. No,
healthy Michigan too.
I wouldn't.
I know,
but I wouldn't be upset about an upset here, but I think BYU is the clear.
I
favorite.
think-
if it's UCLA, there's no shot. But I'm picking Michigan State if Michigan State is in that
Well,
game.
I
Right,
think
you guys.
it's important also to mention BYU is an incredible 3-point shooting team. One of their guys, Alex Barcelo, is shooting 48.6 from the 3-point line, which is ridiculous. Like that's not really seen. And if you want anyone taking the last game-winning shot, it's him. So
right,
I think
BYU there.
BYU's we're
So,
taking.
Jeremy, Dan,
Yeah.
you guys agree?
I think
I'm going with BYU.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with BYU. I just think they're the closest thing that we've seen to beating Gonzaga. I don't care how strong Gonzaga has been. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, next we have a Texas team that really underperformed this season. I think they had a lot more potential, but they're playing ACU, which stands for Able Christian University, another religious school. So look, I think Texas really underperformed against top 25 teams, but they're still a great team. Well,
Just no
ACU
respect to Texas. They've peaked at the right time. Won the
They
Big Ten, 8-2 in their last 10.
they
Yeah.
Best guards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have a lot of potential and they did really perform well. I think that ACU really did a really good job this season of beating up on bad teams, kind of seen, but they're eye-popping plus 17 margin of victory, which is kind of ridiculous. But again, they've only played one top 25 team and lost to them. But I think it's pretty damn impressive. Given it is Arkansas, and Arkansas is one of the better teams in the tournament, I think there's no place for an upset here. We go Texas.
Agreed. Ellis, hold on. Or before we move on, Ellis, how cool would it be if Houston and Rutgers met in a Sweet 16?
I have them meeting
I'd
at.
love an easy matchup. Just kidding. Come on.
All right, here we move on
We're
to
also one of Ellis. We're also one of the hotter teams.
I know.
Like-
I know.
All right, go ahead. Rory.
Here we move on to one of the more interesting matchups in the tournament. I think this is an easy upset call for Maryland. You have UConn, who's I think really overseeded here. They lost to Creighton. They lost to Villanova. They lost to Seton
Creighton
Hall
3 times.
I know it's pretty sad.
Oh, I'm picking
And
Maryland.
here we have Maryland's record does show that they're 16-3. Remember, they're facing one of the best conferences in college
They're playing the
basketball.
toughest conference.
They lost to Michigan 3 times. They lost to Iowa, granted by 22
Illinois.
points.
They beat
but guess
Illinois.
what? Guess what? They beat Illinois, which I think is one of the most impressive things, especially from a number 10 seed to beat a number 1 seed, even when it's during regular season play. I think Maryland's way underseeded, and I think this is an easy upset call.
I hear you, Ori, but I'm going to go UConn Huskies. They've been missing James Bouknight for a lot of those games. Their best player, averaging almost 20 points a game. I think there's no weakness on the UConn team. Actually, both teams I kind of view similarly. There's no weakness, but I think James Bouknight is the only star on the floor, and that's why I think I have the Huskies winning this game. But let's put it up to vote.
UConn lost to Creighton 3 times. You know how I feel about Creighton.
All right, Jacob, Dan.
Well, I think Ellis makes it it's hard to evaluate a team when their best players out. I'll go UConn.
Okay, so Jacob, what's your?
I'm going UConn as well.
All right, so UConn.
All right, so UConn. All right, let's go on to I think what is a pretty easy matchup. Alabama. Shout out to my Alabama friends sitting next to me right now. Roll Tide, 24-6. They have steamrollered opponents. They have not performed exceedingly well against top 25 teams, only going 1-3. But again, it's very hard when Iona hasn't even played a top 25 team to gauge anything.
I think
Alabama has a great offense. They beat Tennessee twice. They beat LSU 3 times. They're steamrolling their competition.
They won the SEC tournament.
Won the SEC tournament. And then you have Iona, which lost to Seton Hall by 22. And God, I love Seton Hall, but you can't lose to them by 22.
I think for this year, it's pretty clear we're picking Alabama.
Yeah, I think we go Bama. So let's actually stick with that Alabama UConn matchup. I think Alabama's a clear win here, especially since UConn and Maryland are so easily suited. I think that's gonna be a tough game for UConn, and whether they do win or not, I think Alabama edges that out easily.
I'm going to contest, but I know I'm going to be outvoted, so we don't have to vote on it. But I think I have UConn here because of, again, Bouknight. Alabama doesn't really have a star, and they are the fastest playing team in the country, but they don't have really a star. I think Bouknight gets hot.
They don't have a star, else. They have SEC Player of the Year.
Yeah, but how much points did he average?
Like 14.
It doesn't matter. He's a defensive player of the year. He locks down.
Player of the Year and Player of the Year.
Okay, I get it. But they have also was that John? Yeah, no, yeah. So they also have John Petty. But I just think I really like this UConn team. I think they have all 5 positions can score the ball. I know this Alabama team's good. I know it's an upset. I know I'm gonna be outvoted, but
I think
I'm feeling the
Bama's
Utah
the easy
Huskies.
call here.
Yeah, I'm
I-
going Bama.
I think
Bama as
Bama's the easy call here. Let's move on up to BYU and Texas. This is where I think it's an intriguing matchup. BYU really makes the case, but I think Texas is just a more experienced team.
Yeah.
I think that even though they lost to Baylor by so much, they do get their wins. They beat Kansas twice, which is pretty notable, and they also beat Oklahoma State. So I think Texas wins. It's hard to evaluate this game because BYU is such a wild card, but I think Texas wins.
This is consistency versus inconsistency. BYU won the most consistent team in the country. Texas very inconsistent. I think Texas has the second best guards other than Baylor in the country, with Andrew Jones leading the way. I think Texas pulls it out in a really, really fun to watch game.
Yeah, I agree. Here I got to go Florida State. I think they're simply just the better team when compared to Georgetown. Georgetown's I don't. It's hard for me to pick them over Colorado, and even though that we did, I just don't see them beating FSU in any significant way.
Eventually, you need talent. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Michigan and LSU. I'm not going to be biased. I simply think that Michigan's the better team. They're more well-rounded, and I know that they're missing one of their best players. But you beat Iowa by 22 points and you beat Purdue by 17. I think they're way too consistent not to win this, especially since LSU lost a team like Alabama, who's granted a very good team, but it shows that they can't really play against like a number 1 seed very well. They lost to them 3 times.
Michigan is lost their best player, but LSU has no defense, and you're going to need defense to be in March Madness. And Michigan has defense; they win.
I contest. I think LSU wins this game. I think Livers.
Oh wow.
Livers being out.
Look,
Wagner hasn't been scoring as well.
Yeah, LSU does have an incredible offense. I just think Michigan's more well-rounded.
I think I agree with Ori.
I just think missing Livers shooting is just gonna be too much for Michigan.
I don't know if
I have Michigan here.
I'm with you. I don't know.
We'll see the next round.
I don't know how I feel about the next round, and definitely not the round after that.
All right, so let's talk about that next matchup, Michigan and Florida State. I mean, here I'm just gonna be biased and pick Michigan for the sake of it, but I honestly think Florida State's a little more talented than Michigan. I'm gonna pick
contest. I have Florida State.
Yeah, I think all Florida State.
I kind of see that happening. I can't do too much. I think if they had Livers, they could easily. Yes. This could easily be a much more conversation, but it's just kind of sad the way that.
Point with Livers, I just want to make real quick. Michigan, they've lost their go-to shot. So if you need a shot to tie the game or win the game or even like get them in with a minute left, Michigan lost their go-to guy. That hurt them a lot against Ohio State, and I think it hurts them here.
Texas, Alabama, Ori.
All right, Texas and Bama. I think this is also going to be a good game. I think Alabama wins this game, though. They have a much more unblemished record against, especially in conference, 16-2. I think this feels like a home game for Alabama. And they consistently beat good teams. Alabama. Texas is too inconsistent, and while I think that's what gets them through the previous round with BYU, it doesn't really cut the chase here with Alabama.
I disagree.
I love this Texas team. Andrew Jones, Courtney Remy, Matt Coleman the third. They've also got Greg Brown and Kai Jones, 2 underrated big men. I really like this Texas Longhorns team, and I think Jacob and Dan like them too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Jeremy?
Doesn't matter, but yeah. I actually might have gone Bama, but all
right. So close game, but a close game nonetheless. All right, let's move on to the last.
All right, so we have Florida State and Texas. I mean, if you guys are gonna keep riding the Texas train, this is exactly where to do it.
Yeah, I'm all aboard.
We're all in on the Longhorns, baby.
I'm not. I'm on Florida State.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So Ori,
I really do like this Florida State team.
Ori, Jeremy.
I mean, I'm gonna just if you guys have Florida State beating Michigan, then I'm going to be with Florida State.
All right, so then Jeremy, you're the
deciding vote. Jeremy.
Honestly, I just think the thing about Texas, they're inconsistent. That's my one problem with them, right? That I can see them winning games. I don't know if I can see them stringing a lot of games together. So I think the reason I was going to pick them to lose against Bama is because I think eventually they're going to have a bad game. If it doesn't happen against Bama, which I think it very well may not, I think it'll happen against Florida State. So I'm going Florida State.
All right, very respectful pick.
All right, now as a collective unit. Before we go to Midwest, Gonzaga versus Florida State in the Final Four.
Gonzaga. I think I'm gonna be going with Florida State. I hate picking number 1 seeds, but yeah,
I'm not picking.
yeah.
I'm not. I don't care what you say. I'm not picking against Gonzaga.
I'm
That's
not
fine.
picking against Gonzaga until the finals. I have loved Gonzaga. This team, this team's so good.
I think I kind of agree. I don't know if Gonzaga's going to win it. I think the pressure will be too much, but I don't think they're going to lose it here. I'm picking Gonzaga.
All right.
Ellis, let's fucking get
Let's
it.
do this. Let's do this. Me and Jacob enter the me and Jacob zone, the Midwest, a fun region. And let's go Illinois Drexel. Drexel won the worst 16 team in the tournament. Illinois, the hottest team in the country.
Hottest team in basketball. Clear
Move
Illinois
on.
win.
Georgia Tech and Loyola Chicago.
Good game.
Loyola Chicago, the second most consistent team in the tournament other than BYU. Play offense, play defense. They've got good players. They're well disciplined. Georgia Tech.
Look, hold on. Before you
Fun
go,
team
Ellis,
to play.
I don't want to hear about Georgia Tech in the ACC. They had an easy path to the ACC in the ACC championship. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, they're a great team and all. They have a good offense. They have a pretty good defense. They rebound well. They shoot the ball well. I'm taking Loyola Chicago, more consistency. And I just think Georgia Tech, if they had not been given those free wins, especially against Virginia, they would not be ranked this high.
This is another one that I think is a toss-up, if in my opinion, like Missouri, Oklahoma. Georgia Tech, a fun team to watch. They said Jose Alvarado and Moses Wright make a good 1-2 combo, very good 1-2 combo. Jose Alvarado averaging 15.5 points a game, 4.2 assists, 2.9 steals. That said, give me Sister Jean, give me the consistency, give me Loyola Chicago.
Yep.
All right. If no one contests, Oregon State Beavers versus Tennessee. I'll be honest. I don't love this Tennessee team. I love this Beavers team. They don't outside shooting. They're amazing at it. They won the tournament by shooting 44. Yeah, Pac-12, 44% from 3, and they are another team that's hot late on. I'm going Oregon State. I think this is a toss-up game. So even though they're the 12-5 seed, I think this is a toss-up team. But don't discount Tennessee, who struggled as of late, but had a really good season. You also don't know how John Fulkerson's going to play, who gets a good amount of rebounds for this team. But we'll see. But I think I'm going Oklahoma State.
As Ellis said, these teams,
Oregon State,
they're pretty opposite. Ellis picking Oregon State. I'm going to go with Tennessee. They started off hot. They slowed down a little bit. Oregon State with the Pac-12 victory. But for me, it's just the consistency with Oregon State. They had a hot run in the Pac-12 tournament. They scored the ball well. They shot the ball well. But all season, they've had issues shooting the ball and scoring the ball consistently. I'm going to take Tennessee.
I guess I can go next. I mean, for me, I think you kind of said it from yourself, at least to me, what's most important when you say they slow down a little bit. I mean, I know I said this before and I'll say this again. I think March Madness it's very much important how good a team is and things like that. But there's always teams in March Madness that overperform much better simply because it's one game. That's such a small sample size in basketball. So I think I'm going to go with Oregon State. I just think that they're hotter right now, and that's what's important.
Dan, Ori?
I got to go Tennessee here.
Dan
loves the power. Dan loves the power right now.
Oregon State versus Tennessee. Who are you picking? 12 versus 5. Upset. Come join me and Jeremy, the Phi Slamma brothers.
Phi Slamma, man. Phi Slamma.
It's a really tough game. I mean, they're both going to have the same record against top 25 teams. Oregon State has a couple more losses. But I think I have to go with the Phi Slamma. I think we're in this together, so I'm going to go Oregon State. You need upsets.
All right. And now next we got Oklahoma State.
Speaking of upsets, I have Liberty of Oklahoma State. I love Kid Cunningham. I think he's going to be the clear number 1 pick in the NBA draft, him or Mobley. But this Liberty team is sneaky, and they're one of my Cinderella teams going into this tournament. So I'm going to pick Liberty.
I think Liberty is very good, and I understand the upset potential, but they're also Trump-supporting losers. And because of that, why actually I'm picking them is because when you need a star to guard Cade Cunningham, who's the best player in the country. He's the number 1 draft pick consensus, averaging 20 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 1.5 steal on 41% from the arc. He runs through Cade Cunningham. No one on Liberty can stop Cade Cunningham. Give me the Oklahoma State Cowboys and Cade Cunningham. No upset today against those Trojans.
Yeah, I don't care how scrappy Liberty is. Oklahoma State is a better team. They're 9-5 against top 25 teams. But yeah, I just think Oklahoma State's the way better team, better competition. They have the star. Give me Oklahoma State.
Jeremy, Ori?
I'm not picking against the number 1 player in the country in the first round. I feel the same way I do about Evan Mobley. I don't think he'll go that far, but I think he'll make it past the first round.
All right. Ori,
Tango mucho poder. And we're gonna go with Oklahoma State. It's not even
Alright, nice.
close. Liberty
Alright.
is a little bit of a scummy school, not gonna lie.
Gone. Yeah.
Next up, my Syracuse Orange against the San Diego State University Aztecs. Kawhi Leonard's alma mater, I believe, right, Ellis?
Yeah.
But yeah, I may have a little bit of bias here. I'm picking Syracuse. I think they've got a good shot. Recently, they've been one of the hottest teams. Buddy Boeheim's been one of the best players in college basketball in each league's tournament.
Let's go Orange.
He averaged over 30 points per game in the ACC tournament and the last 3 games of the season. Marek Dolezaj, our center, he's a good disher. He gets a lot of assists. Alan Griffin transferred from Illinois, shoots the ball very well. And I think our 3-2 zone is going to cause a lot of problems for San Diego State because they're not a great shooting team. And yeah, give me my Orange.
This is my third toss-up play because I really like the San Diego State team. I think they can make a run in the tournament. And I don't actually like that Syracuse Orange team that much. That said, and this is a big, big but. Buddy Boeheim. I cannot pronounce the last name, but that does not mean he's not right now the best player in the country. We talked about Cade Cunningham. He's of course better, but Buddy Boeheim, no one is playing like him at the moment. That said, one of the best defenses in the country. I don't think one player pulls you through. I'm going San Diego State on a last-second shot, but it's a toss-up for me, so I'm happy either way. Jeremy, Dan, Ori, I contested. What do you have to say?
I'm going Cuse.
Cuse.
I just feel
Not even
like-
close. We love
Yay.
Cuse. We
Yeah,
all
I'm
love
going
Cuse.
Cuse.
No,
I
no
don't
hate
know.
on
Be
Syracuse.
clear,
No hate on Syracuse.
Let me just be clear. Buddy's one player, but in basketball, one player is often.
I had a very nice sandwich at Syracuse, and that's what
My
gave
my
me
brother
that.
my brother from
Syracuse
another
is-
mother goes to Syracuse.
No.
So.
And hey, no hate on Syracuse. No hate on Syracuse.
Love you,
Team's a
Jakey
good win.
Poo.
This is no attack on Jacob or Syracuse. I just
Virginia.
really like the San Diego Aztecs team. It's more about San Diego Aztecs team and their talent than Syracuse, but I totally get that. It's a jumps game. And West Virginia, Morehead State, who cares? West Virginia, full court press, Bob Huggins, Hall of Fame coach. Really,
But
really
Ellis,
good team. Give me them.
Also, to go back to that Syracuse San Diego State game, I know you're going to disagree, but I think Syracuse, they have a good shot of making it decently far in this tournament if Boeheim can keep the shooting up and their defense can keep being consistent like they have been.
Yeah, I was also informed that West Virginia doesn't full court press all the time like they used to with Bob Huggins because they don't
So
have
does
Javon
Syracuse
Carter
does a
anymore.
very good full court press too.
But this West Virginia team's winning. That's who cares. All right, next up,
Yeah.
my team, Clemson versus Rutgers. First time in the tournament.
Upset alert.
First time in the tournament for 31 fucking years, and we are back with a vengeance. Listen, actually, if I'm being without like bias, both teams are very similar. Struggled at the end, cannot play well offensively, and defensively are very good. But here's the thing: Rutgers are slightly better defensive efficiency. They're 16th in the country, or 17th in the country last I checked. Actually, that might have changed last game, but they're around there because it's only been one game that I last checked. And Rutgers also, what people don't understand is they can get hot, and they haven't been in a bit. And I know it's hard to sell someone on potential. It's in the March Madness, but I
You
think
saying
they just-
Rutgers is in heat?
Yes, Ori. But I think I think that Rutgers they have the big shot makers and Ron Harper Jr., son of Ron Harper, and Geo Baker. And I just like if a team needs to get hot that can't play offensively, I like this Rutgers team. And it's partially bias, but also you got to say something. This team's hungry. They're really hungry. I've seen them play. They play really, really hard basketball. They haven't been in for 31 years. They want this win. They want to bring this win home for the fans. Clemson, they go every year. They get every year.
Well, Rutgers is obviously the only team in this tournament that wants to win.
Yes.
However,
Yes.
that's basically what you said. However, they're 1-6 against top 25 opponents, and that matters a lot more. I know they play in the Big Ten, but that matters a lot more than wanting to win. So I'm gonna go with Clemson. I don't know if it's my place to
Two of
contest.
those games are very close. You can place contest, but yeah,
Look,
I
I'm
guess
gonna
I'm
be-
voted.
Look, I'm gonna be no. Look, I'm gonna be honest.
I'm taking Rutgers in this one.
I'm gonna be honest. Rutgers isn't very hot right now. They're 1-6 against top 25 teams. I don't know. I'm not making Rutgers lose in the first round. We'll all take Rutgers.
Actually, you know what?
I'm taking Rutgers.
Ellis picked against Syracuse.
Doesn't matter. Does
I'm
not
picking
matter
against
anymore.
Rutgers.
JJ.
I'm taking Clemson.
Fuck you. All right, we're taking Rutgers. Get out.
How is Cleveland State even a college?
All right.
All right, Houston
think
beats
we-
Cleveland State.
Yeah, Houston, but I want to say Cleveland State is a really good offensive
They are a
team.
very good team, and they won their tournament as well.
Yeah, and I think, but Houston is, by the way, known for the big upset. But yeah, let's Houston, Cleveland State.
Yo, Ellis,
I'm going
Ellis.
Houston.
Yo, come on, let's get it. Let's get a Cuse Rutgers.
No.
Sweet
Illinois,
16.
first off, Illinois, Loyola Chicago, Illinois, the hottest team in the country. I don't know if Jacob wants to contest.
No,
Loyola
Illinois.
Chicago, second most consistent team. Illinois, hottest team in the country. Cockburn, one of the best,
Yeah.
the best big man right now playing. And Ioso Doriorma, I can't pronounce the name. I'm sorry for him, but he's right now in contention for Player of the Year, the second best player right now in the year, maybe third behind Cade Cunningham. But this Illinois team just like they've been playing. I think they're going to win the tournament. We'll talk about that later. But Illinois. All right, move on to
Oklahoma State as well.
Oklahoma State. Yeah, I'm going Oklahoma State over Oregon State.
Yeah.
Cade
Yeah.
Cunningham effect. Syracuse versus West Virginia. I sound like a hater.
No,
But
I
picking
get it. It's
Syracuse.
I mean,
and I really like the Syracuse team, and I think they can make a run to the Elite Eight. I think they can.
too.
But I'm picking against Syracuse. I hate to sound like a hater against Jacob. I like the Syracuse team. West Virginia is a great team. I'm going West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Syracuse here. I got some biased, but I also do think we've got a shot. Yeah, top 25. Neither team had a great record. They had more games. They also had a bad record. BPI rank, we're not too far behind them, but I just think this West Virginia team, they lack interior defense and post defense as well. And I think Alan Griffin and Marek Dolja, they do a great job scoring inside. Kadari Richmond off the bench, our freshman point guard who needs to get more minutes. And Coach Boeheim needs to bench Joe Girard because he takes terrible shots all the time. But I think Kadari takes over, gets some inside scoring. I'm picking Syracuse.
Now, what's your guys' choice?
I agree with Jacob. Give me Syracuse.
Jeremy Ori.
Syracuse, baby.
Jeremy doesn't matter then.
No, Jeremy doesn't
I
matter.
would have probably gone West Virginia, but we got
Okay.
50. I'm not-
All right, so let me make my case for Rutgers here against Houston.
No.
Fully no. Shut up, Fox. Fully biased, partly, but also because because there's also actual legitimate. Houston is a very on and off team. They've lost to Cleveland State. No, they didn't lose to Cleveland State. Sorry, but they've lost to Tulsa.
Hold
They've
up.
lost to some-
Can you guys see my screen?
No. Yes.
No.
What?
Look at this. Expectations for Houston haven't been high since Phi Slamma Jamma. Almost Phi Slamma
Oh
Jamma.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're picking Houston,
Yeah.
baby.
No. Wait a second. Give me a second to make my case. Then you can make your case. Rutgers. Houston does not defend the three ball well. Well, Rutgers can shoot the three. Well, they've been actually struggling a lot to shoot the three ball.
They can't shoot the three ball.
But because they have 3-point shooters that have struggled all year. But they started off the season 39% from three. They've now been 24%. But they can get back to there. Houston has lost to Tulsa. Houston are known to just go on lapses. I don't like team that go on lapses. Rutgers, one thing they'll tell you is they'll never go on a defensive lapse. They'll never go. When they get 13 steals and blocks, they're 11-1, and their only team they lost on the last second shot. So they're pretty much, I would say, almost undefeated when they get 13 steals and blocks combined.
Also, Ellis, this Houston team, I'm gonna side with you on this one. This Houston team does rely a lot on inside play. And Rutgers center Miles Johnson, one of the best interior defenders.
And Clifford Maria,
Yes.
he's a freshman, but like he's so listen.
Yeah, but
Rutgers,
Miles Johnson, he had, I think, one game against, I don't know who he faced. I think Illinois maybe. He had
Yeah.
like 7 blocks in 24 minutes. And this Houston team, they do a lot of interior play, and I think they could have some issues with that.
13 steals and blocks. They've done it. They've done it almost half the time, and they've won every game. But yeah, I mean, this team, when that happens, they're very hard to beat. Give me the Scarlet Knights. Okay, so Jeremy, explain why I disagree. Then go ahead.
Me? You said call
Yeah.
me Jeremy.
Oh,
Call me
sorry,
Jeremy.
my bad, Dan. Explain.
Nah, just not feeling it. Rutgers isn't good at basketball, so I'm gonna go with Houston.
Fuck out of here. All right, go Jeremy or what you guys got to say?
Rutgers, baby.
Hey,
Oh,
good.
it's good.
We can discuss.
Good.
We're really going Syracuse Rutgers.
Let's do it. The bias is out.
It's more
We
fun
don't give a
this
fuck.
way. Like, do I really
No,
think we're gonna win? No.
Okay, Jeremy and Dan don't pick Phi Slamma, or don't pick Brother from Another Mother.
All right, ready?
I'll pick whoever I think's gonna
No,
win.
Rutgers.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
so
pick Rutgers. And
I'm not with
Syracuse
Ellis.
the
I
whole
picked
game.
Rutgers to lose in the
Yeah.
first round.
Illinois versus Oklahoma State. Let's talk about them before we get on to the contentious one. Illinois, I think Cade Cunningham's great. Illinois, the hottest team in the country. Let's ride the hot hand. Illinois. Anyone disagree?
Nope.
All right, Jacob, don't disagree.
Nope.
All right, so Illinois, the hottest team in the country. Syracuse Rutgers, let's get it. If this team comes to match up, I mean, listen, I think Rutgers probably would have lost to Houston if I'm being fully honest.
Yes,
but
me too.
but Rutgers matches up great against the Syracuse team. I think defensively they're just much better than Syracuse, despite the zone. I think if we're really at this point with Syracuse Rutgers, I think Rutgers is the better team. They beat them already this year. It was a close game until the end, where Rutgers kind of pulled away a little bit at the end. But me and Jacob actually watched that game together. We all watched that game together. So if it does come to this, I'm actually pretty confident in Rutgers as just the better, or to be honest, they're well equipped for Buddy Boeheim and the Syracuse Orange. But Jacob, or
I'm thinking Syracuse. We both have bias. We both know it. I see either way.
Jacob,
I don't think we are going to see Rutgers.
Jacob, make your case for Syracuse. Make your case for Syracuse, and then we'll pick.
Give me my case for Syracuse.
Oh wait,
Case for
can I make
Syracuse.
better case for Rutgers then?
Go ahead. Yeah. Sure.
Oh yeah,
You just
Rutgers,
did.
No, but I didn't actually make the analysis. So, like Rutgers can have done pretty well this year, penetrating the zone, big man, and they can their steals. Jacob Young, I think, can lock up Buddy Boeheim, leads the Big Ten in steals. And Geo Baker in the clutch can trade shots for Buddy Boeheim.
No, he can't. Geo Baker's not been good this season at all. Shut
Get
up.
out of here. In the clutch, he's still.
You know he's not been good this year at
Get out of
all.
here. He's still been Geo Baker in the clutch. In the clutch.
Okay, but he's not been good.
Doesn't matter. In the clutch, I'm saying in the clutch. If you're talking about the clutch, they're the same player.
Give me Syracuse.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Syracuse team. They're a great 3-point shooting team. They have big defenders. They can guard Rutgers' interior offense. Rutgers is not a good 3-point shooting team. I know Ella said that earlier. The Syracuse zone, Jim Boeheim's favorite zone, famous zone. Very, very good against interior defense. There's my case. Syracuse is a better defense. Rutgers is a little bit of better offense. Go ahead.
Wait, no way. Syracuse does not have a better defense.
Yes, they do. Not points per game, but like literally the zone is so efficient.
I know it's efficient, but this year they've not had a better defense. Their Kem Palm rankings I'm switching up right now.
All right, the difference is 2.5 points a game.
Kem Palm rankings are at 49 for 21. Rutgers is 17.
Okay, four difference. Woo.
Yeah. So Rutgers is better.
With that said, I think I'm personally going to go with Syracuse. To me, it's honestly, it's not even so much what you said. Is that generally in March Madness, as I've said before, I'm going to go with the hot hand as much as possible. There's been very few teams that are hotter than Syracuse right now, and to me, that's more important that Syracuse has been hot and Rutgers has not been as hot. That's why, realistically, I don't think Rutgers would make this point. I think Syracuse genuinely has a shot too. I don't think Rutgers.
Well, Ellis, we took a top 10 team in the nation to the last second shot to lose to.
No, I get that. I get that. We beat
yeah,
Illinois in the season.
Mid-season, yes.
And we beat Purdue. So all right, move on. So you all picked Syracuse. We'll put Syracuse on, and I think
Picked Rutgers.
Oh well, okay. Well, thank you, Ori. Yay, Ori. But
Yay.
All right, Illinois, Syracuse, Illinois.
Illinois is just this is talent levels ahead. And
Arkansas,
finals,
Illinois.
And this is what I wanted. Illinois is just super hot team, really, really good team. And in the final, we have Gonzaga and Illinois. And give me Illinois, the hottest team in the country, over the Zags. Very rarely, I think very rarely does the most favorite team in March Madness win it all. And because of that, Illinois is going to win in the finals. And let's vote on it because I got Illinois.
Let me make my case. I think Gonzaga finally gets a win. Past 2 decades, they've always been one of the best teams in the tournament. They have not won one in a long time. But this Gonzaga team is super, super interesting. Obviously, we know they score a shit ton of points. They're averaging something like 92 points a game, and they're only allowing like 68 or something like that. But this team is super interesting. They have 5 players. Their whole starting roster, they can all score the ball, and they're all averaging above double-digit points. They've got Suggs, the freshman. They've got a very, very, very strong senior. I forget his name. What's his name, Ellis? Their senior.
Who?
Corey Kispert.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Kispert, and then Drew Timme, the sophomore. And, they're 26-0. They're going for an undefeated season. I think they get it done personally. I'm picking Gonzaga.
Which leads it down to Ori, Jeremy, and Dan. Gonzaga versus
Illinois.
Why?
I think I'm going Illinois.
I think it's very difficult for number 1 seeds to win.
They're both number
Both
1.
number 1 seeds.
No, sorry. It's very difficult for the complete favorites in the tournament to win. There's always some sort of uncertainty.
It's more than the complete favorite. Like that's I think highly underselling it. They're undefeated right now. Like if they win this, it'll be the first time an undefeated team won in 45 years. Like that's.
Well, that means they're due.
I'm going Illinois.
That's gambler's
Alright.
fallacy. It's Illinois, baby.
I'm going
Illinois.
Gonzaga.
All right,
Alright.
so
I'm a
Illinois
fallacy.
is the title winner.
All right.
Tiebreaker score. What are we picking for the score?
Tim
87.
Rohan will be happy.
80-75.
I'd say.
No, it's gonna be higher than that. 85-8, 85-8.
No,
I don't
really,
think
I'd
it's
say,
that high.
I'd say like 75-73 for me.
Both these are high-scoring teams. Okay,
And we
whatever.
will be entering the All-State Tournament Challenge and the
Let's do it.
Accurate Tournament
The
Challenge.
who's on top bracket entering. So that's
There we
this is a
go.
long ass episode. So like,
Never mind. We are not submitting to those online entries because I don't want to put in my stuff. There we go.
Yay, all right.
Hey,
I'll let it touch down the
there
nets in
we go.
Indy.
All right, that was a let's
That'll be a good story. Indianapolis.
Let's
Illinois.
conclude this quickly.
Yeah, they
I know.
both sound the
I know
same.
Indianapolis is in Indiana, but it's close. That's what.
Nice,
I
Daniel.
was about to say
Quick save there.
But yeah, let's wrap this up because it's been a long ass episode.
Yeah.
But we hope you
That's a
enjoyed
technical
it.
term.
Yes. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you have a great March Madness. Get those brackets, win some money. And frankly, we hope you look out for episode 54 with a very interesting interview with Rob Trigali.
And as always, if you choose to bet on our predictions, we do not take anything responsibility for it. And if you
That's
bet
true.
money and do
I
well,
thought we started taking responsibility for it.
Rutgers are winning the
we take
tournament.
all their something. And if you bet some money and earn some, feel free to send some our way. Just as a little thank you.
I want Rutgers and Syracuse to play each other, so just so Rutgers can win.
I do
And
too. I want them to play so badly.
anyway,
Oh, so if they play each other, the trash talk is coming
I'll
out.
kill you. I'll kill you, baby. Anyway, short intro. Just real quick, check out episode 54 on the weekend, and the next weekend we're talking NFL free agency. We'll run them down, and we're also talking start of MLB season, and then we got NBA playoffs. So action-packed schedule coming your way, and then following coming weeks. No rest for the wicked. We're all here. We're all working. We're all staying up late. How about you? I don't know where that came from. So we hope you enjoyed.
What the fuck,
Hope
Ellis?
you enjoyed the March
Well,
Madness
stayed up
tournament.
late, how about you?
Ellis. What the
We hope you enjoyed this March Madness. Ellis. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Have a great week. Hope you enjoyed the episode and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.